Howdy there, folks. How are y'all doing? My name is Reese. Welcome back to the... I took a nap downstairs in my home, in the game, not in real life, and the rain stopped. Raindrops were falling on my head. They just kept falling. But what I did was I did some talking to the sun, and I told him that I didn't like the way he got things done, sleeping on the job. And he straightened things out. He got to shining again, and the sun is now up in the sky. It's a beautiful day. The sun is up, music's playing. I don't hear no one complaining. And even if it started raining, no, hold on. The sun is up and the music's playing, and you won't hear this. Because I'm glad that you're the one who got away. It's a beautiful day. It's some Michael Bublé there for you. Just a little bit of Michael Bublé to warm the cockles of your cold, cold heart. I had pizza today. I ate some pizza, and it was pretty good. It's pretty good stuff. But I think I might have eaten too much of it, and I've got a bit of a bellyache. And anytime I get a bellyache, I'm reminded of this song by the band Goldfish. And they got a song that's like, Big Bad Billy had a bellyache, he had a bit of bad bread for dinner. And ever since then, no food'll take, so now Billy, he's much thinner. It's a real dark song when you think about it, but I think it's based on like a kid song, or it is a kid song, like a popular, not nursery rhyme, but there's those songs that kids all kind of know and sing at some point in their life. And then, the Billy, he had a brother named Bill with a baseball bat. He played ball all day long. And every time I see that boy, he's always singing his favorite song, and it goes. And that's how the song goes right there. I hope that you enjoyed that. I was just taking a look at this and thinking that maybe we ought not have solid blocks. Maybe it would look better if we used stairs and they went around the corners like this, so the tops were squared. And sort of similar, we're not going to go into as much detail as we did on those other towers that we did, because if you go over to those towers, they look real good, but we put like a lot of work into like sculpting the tops of them, and we were working with a much simpler design there too, because remember, we were dealing with we only had 4 blocks all around, so we were very limited in what we could do. The question is, do I want to have the corners completed? And I think I do, because I think I want to have this happen on all of the corners. Why, you might be wondering? Look, I don't know. Sometimes I get an idea, and I feel compelled to run with it, even though I don't know what the inspiration for that idea is, or why it would be beneficial in any way. And that's starting to make me question whether or not we ought to have this also go all the way down to the bottom. I kind of feel like we should, because then it matches. Have we ruined the structural integrity, though, of this place by adding more wood and less stone? And also, it looks like it's lost some of its dimension, because it looks more square than it does round now. But I don't know. The building is a bit square, isn't it? So maybe this all just checks out at the end of the day. Maybe this just makes the most sense. We are going to fill all of this with glowstone, of course. Cannot have it not be filled with glowstone, because then it won't glow, and it's got to glow. It's got to shine bright like a diamond, which is a... Boy, I heard that song the other day, and I got to thinking about it, and I'm pretty sure I once had a conversation with Jenna years and years and years ago, when we were friends, but we weren't, friends like the way we are now, where we're like best friends. And she was just complaining about this weird song, and one of the lines was "shine bright like a diamond," and she was trying to do it the way that they do it in the song. She's like, "Shine bright like a diamond," and she's like, "It's so weird." Jenna. Oh, Jenna. Simpler times. So much simpler time. I remember being young and having no responsibilities, and her brother, you guys know Brenton, and my brother Micah used to be like the bestest of friends, right? Like, they hung out so much, it was annoying. But they were like best friends, and I would have to drive over and drop Micah off or pick him up from their house, and Jenna would come outside, and it always happened in the same sort of progression, right? First, she would come around to my window, and we'd talk there for a bit, and I'd be like, "Yeah, it's hot. Let's just get in my car." And she would, because I'd realize, I never went there with the intention of talking to Jenna. I always sort of went there I'm going to drop Mike off and head back home. But Jenna would come out, and I'd be like, I guess we'll chat for a while. And we'd chat for a while, and I'd be like, "Why don't you just come sit in the passenger seat?" So she'd come around, she'd sit in the passenger seat, and we'd talk about whatever books we were reading or anything like that. And she would get on to me for the books I was reading and be like, "That seems weird, Reese. Why are you reading weird stuff? Why don't you just read normal stuff?" And I'm like, geez, Jenna, I don't know why you so opinionated. Hey, some things never change. If you know what I'm saying. You don't have to tell her about that on the Discord. Definitely don't tell her that. But those are good days. We just had these nice little conversations, and now everybody's all grown up. And Micah, I don't drive Mike anywhere anymore because he can drive, and Brenton can drive, and Jenna. No, actually, everything there is pretty much exactly the same. Should I still tell her about the books I'm reading? And she still is opinionated. It's important in life. Change is important, but I think it's important to have some constants as well. And that's one of my constants that I treasure. I've been thinking about this a lot lately as my nieces are getting older. I now have 2 of my 4 nieces are teenagers now, and the other 2 are following behind very quickly. And they're doing, one of them bought a hydro flask. We make fun of Visco girls together, and then she turns around and buys a hydro flask. I'm like, you've betrayed the trust. You've betrayed the unclehood. It's like a sisterhood or a brotherhood, but between an uncle and a niece. Did you know that an uncle and a niece, technically the classification is cousin? Because you can have like a grandma and a grandpa and a nana and a pawpaw, and those are classified as grandparents. And then you have a mom and a dad, and those are classified as parents. Brother, sister classified as siblings. Uncles, aunts, people like that are classified under the cousin category. See, I thought cousin was always specific to, your mom's sister's kids, or something along those lines. Your parents' siblings' children, but no, it's a universal classification for anyone in that sort of bracket of family. So technically, my nieces and my nephew are my cousins in a way, which is they're not actually my cousins. Like there's no sort of questionable breeding situation going on. That's not what I'm trying to imply. What I'm saying is, according to the Gimp's law of family classification, they are my they're growing up too fast, and lots of things are changing in life. That's part of what sparked, we talked about it in a previous episode, my emotionally distraught downfall throughout the month of September was this realization that things are changing. And I think that one of the big things for me was, throughout my entire life, I never minded change. I always liked it. I remember when we moved from my little hometown that I grew up in, I was amped. My sister was not. She didn't want to leave. She very quickly went back, and that was, when she turned not quite 18. It was like a couple of years later, but she went back because that's in her mind, her home. That's where she always lived, and she did not like the idea of learning to live someplace else. I was not like her at all. I could not wait to leave and get on with like a new chapter of my life. And throughout my entire life, it's always been like that. I've always been the one who's excited for change, because they always get better. I mean, sometimes things change for the worse in a way, but they always kind of bounce back and they improve, and life always gets interesting and more dynamic, and I'm always looking forward to that change. But, I realized that, there were certain things changing in September, people growing up and people moving away, and just, the various things in life, nieces getting older, and some unrelated family drama. But I was like, I don't want things to change. For the first time in my life, I'm adverse to change. I'm against it, because I think for the first time in my life, I really, really like the way that things are right now. And obviously, I wish there were some things that could be improved. I'd love to have more success on YouTube, or I'd love to have, various things like that. Make more money at work, for example, would be nice. But for the most part, everything was good, and I didn't want it to change, and to a degree, I still don't. I think most people would rather things stay the same more consistently, but it was weird having to come to terms with the fact that nope, I don't have control over this. Things are changing, and that is okay. That is 100% okay. They can't stay the same forever, and that's fine. How is this designed out here? Like that. Okay, I think I can do that. And that's carpenter's blocks, isn't it? Are these carpenter's blocks with glowstone? Yeah, carpenter's blocks. So I've been trying to accept the fact that things in life are changing, and trying to embrace that a little bit more. Oh, look, there's the base. It's just there. It's just underneath the underneath where we're building all of this. What do you know? How about that? I feel like I've said all of that like I'm setting y'all up for something. Like I'm about to be like, speaking of things changing, we're changing the channel. We're only going to do videos about cats now. That's not happening. I'm not about to announce these sort of changes to the channel. Heavens no. One of the things I rely on, like I say, it's important to have some things that are persistent, some things that you can rely on and count on to not change, you know, and I think my YouTube channel is, for me, one of them. Not to say that I wouldn't like to grow the channel and evolve the channel, but I think there's a difference between evolving something and changing it, and I've got no plans to change it. Grow it, expand it, you know, shrink certain things and expand other things, but no plans currently, I assure you, I promise you, to drastically change. You know, if drastic change was to come, it would be slow and over a great period of time. And, you know, I've oftentimes sort of looked back on my channel and thought, you know, things aren't really that different. Maybe I need to innovate or change more. But then that's not what I meant to do. But then I'll go back to some of my older content, and I realize, things have changed. I've changed. My personality has changed. My commentary style has changed. The rain is here. Yay. But my commentary style has changed. My editing style has changed. Obviously not with this series. Obviously. I don't need your sassy comments. There is no editing. Well, there's a bit. But I don't think I did that right. Alright, yeah, so that is supposed to be filled in over here on these sides. Good to know. There we go. I liked that little red flower. Rip little red flower. You know, so in ways things have changed. But I think, importantly, they've changed slowly. You know, they've evolved over time. I'm surprised, though. I'm surprised I haven't gotten any comments from someone. Maybe you can do it. Maybe you can comment on this one and telling me, like, you missed the old Reese? And you can talk about the way that I used to do things. I found this new YouTube channel that I like. It's called, what is it? I'm going to actually, like, in the middle of this video, I'm actually going to open up and look at it. Because, hold on. There we go. Back under the cover. Opening up YouTube. I'm going to find the name of this channel because maybe you will also be interested in it. If you all like Kingdom Hearts. Sarah Key. That's it. She does lots of different content, but she does Kingdom Hearts content. And she was telling a story about her stalker that she had, who was this guy who apparently liked her in high school and ended up tracking her down years later to tell her that he was in love with her, but he was in love with the old her, and the person he sees now on social media isn't her. And if the old her ever comes back, give him a call. And she was like, we were never into each other, or I don't know what he's going on about, weirdo. How did he find me? And I was like, that is classic, weird, overly invested YouTube fan right there, right? Like, that's what that is. That is we should take a nap. That is the exact kind of person who's like, I used to like your old videos. Your new videos are not the same. And if you ever go back to making videos the way you used to, maybe I'll come back. But until then, I'm just going to move on. Like, I don't even know who you are. You know, I think a lot of people... I mean, obviously, I know a lot of my... Not in real life, but I know a lot of my subscribers. I know a lot of the people watching this. I know a lot of them by name. And I know a lot about their lives. But, you know, if we take the Lucky Loos out, and we take out the Blood Elves, and we take out the Halrondos, and the Laszlos, and all of those, the vast majority of my subscriber base, I do not feel like I know on any kind of personal level. You know, 30,000 people, I don't know them all. But it's always the obscure ones that they never comment, they just watch the videos, and then one day, this person you've never seen before is like, it's not what I subscribed for. It's different now, and you're different. I'm just going to leave, and maybe if you go back to the way it used to be, I'll come back. I'm like, I cannot feel anything for this. I'm sorry I don't know you. Goodbye, I guess. It'll be exactly like you never left, because I don't know who you are. I got comments like that when I declared back in 2018. Well, no, it was 2017, wasn't it? That I was taking a break from Minecraft content there at the end of 2017. Lots of comments from people like, I love this channel and I love Minecraft, but if you're not playing Minecraft anymore, I'm unsubscribing. It's like, well, who are you? Like, is this supposed to hit me in some sort of, that's the end of our time for today. Is that supposed to hit me in some sort of a really strong way? Am I supposed to feel like a great deal of emotional, like, distraughtedness over that declaration? And I'll tell you what it is. I think a lot of people will watch videos and they will feel a connection with the person they're watching video. I mean, heaven knows I'm just as accountable for this. I feel like I have a connection with Rhett and Link and the Yogscast and people like that. But I don't. I do. I have a connection with them. They don't have a connection with me. If I comment on a Yogscast video and declare I'm done, I'm leaving, and they got every member, current and former, of the Yogscast, and they sat them down and they all read that comment, none of them would know who the heck I am. Commented on their videos. I've bought some of their products. I got the Bodega book. I'm really excited to read it. But I know a lot about them. They don't really know anything about me. It's not a two-way relationship that we have. So I can't imagine them getting hurt about something like that. But I think a lot of people don't realize that. I think a lot of people watch content and they'll be like, oh, yeah, no, we have this relationship. You know what's weird is you see this a lot. I was listening to a podcast the other day with a bunch of guys that I like, and they had one of their friends. They knew him somehow. Maybe he did some editing for them. I can't remember the specifics. But he'd never been on the show before. But you could tell he was a fan of the show. And he kept trying to insert himself into the show's dynamic. Because you could tell he was a fan. He sort of knew what was going on. He knew the inside jokes and the dynamics and the relationships. And he kept trying to like push himself in there. But as a listener, you don't know who this guy is. Why is he acting like he's always been there and he's best friends with all these people? And you could tell the other guys in the podcast were not comfortable with it. And they didn't know how to handle it. Like at one point he's like, I know how I feel about this, and pal, I know you're going to feel exactly the same way. And it's like, do you? Have y'all talked about this? What, you're just making that assumption? He's like, yeah, maybe you and I should make a video about that, person? And the person's like, but they're like, no, because we're not partners like that. We don't do content together. It was just real uncomfortable. And I think it's just one of those examples of you feel like you have this sort of two-way relationship and you don't. This is all way off subject. I don't remember what the original topic of today's video was. I'm gonna have to figure that out when I edit it because I have to title this video something. Until next time, thank you folks for watching. God bless you and I'll see you later. Bye!